What if learning English felt like going on a shopping adventure? In this story, you'll walk through real stores, feel the pressure of choice, and learn natural English without memorizing anything. If you want to grow your English while enjoying it, hit subscribe, drop a like, and let's dive in. Sahar stepped into the cool morning air of a busy city center. She had made herself a little challenge for the day. She would try to buy one small thing from 5 different shops before sunset. No online orders. No help from maps. No planning. Just her feet, her eyes, and whatever she could find. Her first stop was a tiny bookstore on a corner near the tram tracks. The door creaked when she pushed it open. Inside, the shelves smelled like dust and stories. She walked between the rows of books slowly. She didn't know what she was looking for, just something that felt right. After 10 minutes, she found a small, used poetry book. The cover was worn, the pages soft. She placed it on the counter and smiled at the quiet man behind the register. He didn't speak. He just nodded. One shop done. She left the store and walked toward the square. There were shops everywhere, modern, loud, shiny, but Sahar wanted something quieter. A few blocks away, she noticed a florist. The window was full of wild flowers, sunflowers, and something purple she didn't recognize. Inside, the air was full of water and green. A woman with gray hair was trimming stems near the back. Sahar pointed to a small, white flower in a glass jar. The woman nodded, picked it up, wrapped it gently in brown paper, and handed it to her. Sahar held the flower like it was something more than a plant. Maybe it was. 2 shops done. The 3rd store found her. As she crossed a narrow street, she saw a small bakery with the smell of cinnamon in the air. Her stomach answered before her brain could. She walked in, saw rows of warm pastries, and chose one that looked like a golden spiral. It was soft, warm, and sticky. She paid, stepped outside, and took a bite. The sweetness surprised her. 3 shops done. Now things got harder. Not because she was tired, but because she wanted each stop to feel different. She didn't want to just go into a random store. She wanted it to matter. She passed a few clothing stores, but nothing caught her eye. Then she saw something unusual. A key shop. The display was full of keys, locks, chains, and small metal tools. It looked like a place no tourist would enter. But Sahar wasn't a tourist today. She stepped inside. A man was sitting behind a counter, reading a newspaper. She looked around and saw a little brass key charm. No keyhole. Just decoration. She picked it up and handed it to the man. He smiled for the first time, as if she had just passed some kind of test. For shops done. It was late afternoon now, and the city was starting to change. The light was softer. The streets were busier. Sahar sat on a bench to think. What could her last shop be? Something different. Something simple. After a few minutes, she got up and walked without thinking. That's when she found it. A music shop. The window had an old guitar and a set of wooden flutes. Inside, it was quiet, almost like a library. No music played. Just silence and strings. She didn't play anything, but she saw a tiny harmonica by the door. It fit in her hand like a secret. She bought it without a word and stepped back outside. 5 shops done. She looked at what she had collected. A book of poems. A white flower. A pastry. A brass key. A harmonica. None of them expensive. None of them famous. But together, they felt like a perfect memory. She walked back to her room as the sky began to turn pink. It hadn't been a day full of action or noise, but it had been full of choices. Tiny ones. Meaningful ones. And now, she had 5 objects to remind her. Without even realizing it, you just practiced how to talk about shopping describing actions, expressing choice, and reflecting on your day in clear, useful English. That's the power of storytelling. If this helped you learn without even feeling like you were studying, prove it. Smash that like button. Subscribe for more. And tell us in the comments, what are 5 things you would buy if you could do this challenge today? Come back tomorrow. Your next adventure in English is just one story away.